Yamatira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Girivardhari Yasodhanandana Vrajajana Yasodhanandana Vrajajana Jana Yamunatira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jayam Stapat Paramahansa Mripakadiyas Shri Kumad, His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Goswami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Mripakadiyas Tarasi My Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Goswami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Thakur Bhakti Vinod Ki Jai. Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Sad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita Ki Jai, Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. All glories to assembled devotee. All glories to assembled devotee. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. Go Premananda Hari Hari Bol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All together, please. Om Jnana Timirandasya Ganandana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrijatam Sahagana Raghunattam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sarvetam Savadutam Prajana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padang Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapcha Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhana Sudadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakaupatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is. Chapter 18, Perfection of Renunciation, text 57. Yes? Please repeat. Chetasa Mai Sanyasya Matpara Buddhiyogam Upashritya Maksita Satatam Bhava Chetasar Sarvakarmani Mai sanyasya matparaha buddhiyogam upashritya makshita satatam bhava chetasar sarvakarmani mai sanyasa matparaha buddhiyogam upashritya makshita satatam bhava. Thank you, sir. Chetasar sarvakarmani mai sanyasya matparaha buddhiyogam upastritya makshita satatam bhava chetasar sarvakarmani mai sanyasya matparaha buddhiyogam upastritya makshita satatam bhava. Thank you very much. Please repeat. Chetasa, by intelligence. Sarvakarmani, all kinds of activities. Mai, unto me. Sanyasya, giving up. Matparaha, under my protection. Buddhi yogam, devotional activities. Upashritya, taking shelter of. Makshita, in consciousness of me. Satatam, 24 hours a day. Bhava, just become. So they see that, Satatam, 24 hours a day. So that means you've got to be Krishna conscious when you're sleeping. Okay, so translation, I'll read, then you repeat. In all activities, just depend upon me and work always under my protection. In such devotional service, be fully conscious of me. Please repeat. In all activities, just depend upon me and work always under my protection. In such devotional service, be fully conscious of me. Purport Srila Prabhupada. When one acts in Krishna consciousness, he does not act as the master of the world. Just like a servant, one should act fully under the direction of the Supreme Lord. A servant has no individual independence. He acts only on the order of the master. A servant acting on behalf of the Supreme Master is unaffected by profit and loss. He simply discharges his duty faithfully in terms of the order of the Lord. Now one may argue that Arjuna was acting under the personal direction of Krishna, but when Krishna is not present, this is a good point, isn't it? How should one act? If one acts according to the direction of Krishna in this book, as well as under the guidance of the representative of Krishna, then the result will be the same. The Sanskrit word matpara is very important in this verse. It indicates that one has no goal in life save and except acting in Krishna consciousness just to satisfy Krishna. And while working in that way, one should think of Krishna only. I have been appointed to discharge this particular duty by Krishna. While acting in such a way, one naturally has to think of Krishna. This is perfect Krishna consciousness. One should, however, note that after doing something whimsically, he should not offer the result to the Supreme Lord. That sort of duty is not in the devotional service of Krishna consciousness. One should act according to the order of Krishna. This is a very important point. That order of Krishna comes through disciplic succession from the bona fide spiritual master. Therefore, the spiritual master's order should be taken as the prime duty of life. If one gets a bona fide spiritual master and acts according to his direction, then one's perfection of life in Krishna consciousness is guaranteed. Yes, so that's a very powerful purport. Om Jnana Timarandasya Ganandana Salakaya Chaksoram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Chetasa Sarvakarmani Mai Sanyasa Matpara Buddhi Yoga Mapasricha Maksita Satatam Baba. In all activities, just depend upon me and work always under my protection. In such devotional service, be fully conscious of me. Yes. So, if you remember last week, we were starting verse 60, right? And Krishna, in the verse before 60, wait a minute, was it 50? Yeah, it was last week 50. Yeah. And Krishna told Arjuna, do your duty, Arjuna. And he said, now I've described one level of perfection. And he was referring there to the perfection of renunciation. That you are able to become detached from the material energy. Generally, the material energy, we want to eat, sleep, mate, we want a wife, we want, what is it? Dhanam, Janam, Sundaram, right? But, so people are pulled into the karmic pool by that. So one level of protection is to become not aspiring for those things. I was just reading Chaitanya Bhagavat this afternoon, and Srivas Pandit, who's Narada Muni in Krishna Leela, Lord Chaitanya was talking to him. Srivas, you don't have any income or anything. You have a family. It's interesting to note, right? In Krishna Leela, Narada Muni is a big brahmachari, right? Famous for traveling and initiating people or teaching people Krishna consciousness. But in Chaitanya Leela, he is married. And actually in his place, Srivas Angam, that's where the Sankirtan movement started. It's very interesting. So there's Narada Muni, and so Narada Muni said, no, whatever will come, right? I rely on that. And he said, if I have to fast for 3 days, and Lord Chaitanya said, Srivas, your renunciation, your faith in the Supreme Lord, just depend upon me, right? So so Lord Chaitanya blessed him, saying, don't worry, Srivas, everything you need will come. Srivas had said, whatever's my destiny will come to me. So it's a very interesting point. But at the same time, that is the personal associate of the Supreme Lord, very intimate, Narada Muni, Srivas Angam, starting of the Sankirtan movement. We should not artificially imitate. We shouldn't think, Srivas Pandit, he's married, he didn't go looking for funds, so I will just... Now, if you're in bhava, if you're in ecstasy, if you're in spiritual ecstasy, if you're a Paramahamsa, if you're an Upta Madhikari, maybe you will not even think about these things, but we should act in accordance with our particular level of advancement, our level of consciousness. And it's stated in the Shastra that to act in accordance with your level of Krishna consciousness or material consciousness, to act in accord, that is piety. But if you act below that, or if you try to act above that, then that is impiety. That's the statement in the Shastra. So one should know oneself, one's position, and act accordingly. This is an important point because that is the deviation of the Sahajiya, right? He wants to affect. I'm a Paramahamsa, so through mental exercise, they think, oh, I'm feeling bhava, and so on and so forth. Now, Prabhupada, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, he does talk at the beginning. He talks about the Sahajiyas, and he said we should respect them because they are devotees, but they haven't got the right Siddhanta, right? They are thinking that, oh, by imagining and this and that. But the real thing in Krishna consciousness is that the soul does wake up. It does become more realized. It does develop mystic insight into the spiritual world. That does happen. And so one should be very attentive to that. One should be attentive, and one should discuss with one's spiritual teacher, advanced devotees, one's personal development. One should understand where one is, and one should act in accordance with that. And that's very important. We don't want to act imagining I am a Paramahamsa by imagination. Or if we are knowing Siddhanta and we're initiated and we know a good bit of Krishna consciousness, then we shouldn't let ourselves fall away temporarily. But whatever happens, we should get back on the bicycle. This is the main point. If we have difficulty, we should understand that Krishna is an ocean of mercy. Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha. The Vaishnav is an ocean of mercy. We shouldn't think, oh, I've had a problem and this, and I haven't done, and I've made this mistake. No, we just take shelter of, as Krishna says here, just depend upon me, and rely on Krishna's mercy, and reapply ourselves. Because like a child falls down, does it not? But it keeps trying to walk. It doesn't think, oh, it's hard, it's hurting me when I fall down, so for the rest of my life I'll just crawl like a baby. That's not the solution. We should think, yes, one day, depending upon Krishna, I will become a Paramahamsa. I will become an Uttamadhikari. I will go to the Bhoma Leela. I'll get final training there, and I'll be ready for Krishna Leela. We should think like that. We should think positive, right? Rupa Goswami has said that 6 things are good for spirit, the nectar of instruction. One should feel confident. You should be enthusiastic, patient, but you should feel confident. And there are many statements like this, just depend upon me. Later on, Krishna will say, just surrender to me, don't worry, ma suchaha. And I will supervise you. And Krishna is supervising. He's not just supervising the Uttamadhikaris, the Paramahamsas. He's supervising the fallen people. He's supervising everyone. He's supervising the neophyte. But he's saying here, work under my direction. So we depend upon Krishna, but we work under his direction. Now, what Prabhupada says a brilliant thing there. Work under my direction, right? So we're relying on Krishna to elevate us and stop us and educate us and giving realization in accordance with our status. Just like when you're learning a musical instrument, you keep practicing, and then suddenly one day you can play nicely, huh? And you can find the melody, but you have to be steady in your practice. 1 hour a day, 2 hours a day, and you'll become a good musician. But not 5 hours a day on Saturday and the rest of the week you don't practice. So steady practice, depending upon Krishna. And that's what you'll find. Oh, I couldn't play that melody before, but now I can. What happened? That is Krishna. Why? Because you performed tapa. You practiced tapasya, you applied yourself, and Krishna responded. He gave you the intelligence. So that is the word first spoken in the universe, right? Lord Brahma, he awoke on the lotus leaf. He didn't know what was going on. Where have I come from? What's my source? Now, that's very educational. He didn't think, I'm Bhagavan, like a Mayavadi. No, he said, what's my source? So this is, right, Ishvara Sarvabhut, Anadir Adir, right? Krishna, when he describes himself, Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo, I am the source. So he heard the word tapa, and then he understood. Control your senses and mind and meditate on your source. You must have a source. Krishna gave him intelligence. So he meditated. Then he realized Krishna by grace of Krishna. And Brahma Samhita is the expression of that realization. So, tapa, that is austerity, voluntary control of the senses, in accordance with the direction of Krishna. So you remember in the purport, somebody may say, Prabhupada, I'm paraphrasing of course, somebody may say, oh, Krishna said, Krishna is educating Arjuna, but how do I know what to do? You know, Krishna is standing with Arjuna and saying, Arjuna, do this, and, you know, don't try to imitate the life of a Brahmin and become non-violent, do your duty, this is the circumstance. So somebody may say, oh, Krishna is giving good instruction directly to Arjuna. So then Prabhupada says, the answer to that problem, we should hear the words of Krishna in the books of Krishna. The book, the Bhagavatam. The Bhagavatam is Puranika Dunodita, Rakalo Nastad. It is specially written for people in Kali Yuga. And Srila Bhakti Siddhanta said an amazing thing. I read it some time back. He said if every Vedic literature disappeared, but the Bhagavatam remained, there would be no loss. This is an amazing statement, because Bhagavatam is specially created to reveal Krishna. Krishna's tu, Bhagavan Swayam. That is our Mahavakya. The Mayavadis have 4 Mahavakyas. Our Mahavakya, one is Krishna's tu, Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? So, wow, that's what everybody needs to know. Right nowadays, everyone's fighting, and the atheists and the anarchists, they don't know, the man-made religions. We don't want to, attract them. But they don't know who is Bhagavan, right? They have some idea of God, or God is the spirit, but they don't know Krishna, son of Nanda Maharaj, Mother Yashoda, Bhagavan. They don't know that. They don't know the final point. So, that is what Prabhupada came. That's what the Vedas came. That's what Lord Chaitanya came to say. And then if you want the second Mahavakya, that would be Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhakabanai. right? Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem. Krishna is Bhagwan. Oh, what's my relationship? Prem. It's Prem. Because and how will you realize that Krishna is Bhagawan? Right? Everyone may say, oh, you say Krishna is Bhagawan, but he says this and he says that, and the atheists say no and all that. How do you know that Krishna is Bhagawan? What's your proof? You know what we say? Chant Hare Krishna for 2 weeks and stop smoking and drinking and eating meat and read Bhagavad Gita for 2 weeks. Okay, 1 week, and you will know who's Bhagavan. Right? This is our answer. Make an experiment. Oh, you're an atheistic scientist. Well, take this experiment. Krishna's to Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem. By sadhana, like Lord Brahma, you will realize that Krishna is Bhagavan. So what's the third Mahavakya of the Gaudiyas? Krishna Varna Tvisha Krishnam. Right? Who is teaching this? Well, it's also in that Nitya Siddha verse. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhakabadai Shravanadi Sudachitte Karide Udai. Right? Shravanadi means Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam. The 9 processes of bhakti. That's Abhideya. Krishna's to Bhagwan. That is Sambandha. Krishna is everything. So Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem, Sadhakabanai, we have Prem. Through Bhakti, we will realize, through the Maha Mantra, we will realize that Krishna is Bhagavan by the grace of Nityananda Prabhu. The Maha Mantra has Nityananda Shakti in it. So if we chant with and then, who is, yes, Krishna Vana Tvisha Krishnam, that is the third Mahavakya. Sango Panga Shapashide Yogye Sankirtana Praye Yayantihi Sumadasa. Because that brings Lord Chaitanya in. We're in Kali Yuga, we just said, right? So we have to mention Lord Chaitanya in our 4 Mahavakyas, right? He's teaching Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem. He's teaching the process, Shravanadi Sudachitte. He's teaching everything. So the third one is Lord Chaitanya and his associates. He is Krishna. Krishna Varna, he's in the category of Krishna, Tvisha Krishnam. But he's not golden form like he's not. Lord Chaitanya, why is he golden? Because he stole the beauty of Radharani. He stole the bhava. You see, Krishna, he's the greatest at everything. Now you may steal a rasgulla. No problem. But Krishna, he's the greatest thief. So he steals the greatest thing in creation. What is that? That is the bhava of Radharani, right? So he's not stealing just a rasgulla. He's stealing the bhava and the complexion of Radharani. Sometimes the poetic Vaishnavas, they say that Lord Chaitanya, Radharani is golden because all the good qualities of Krishna went into Radharani. So, but this is poetry, of course. This is ecstatic poetry. So Lord Chaitanya, Tvisha Krishnam, Sango Panga Shapa. So with his associates and everyone, he has arrived in Kali Yuga. So what's the 4th Mahavakya? Kirtanad eva Krishnasya mukta sangha parambrajet. Right? Kale dosha nide rajan asti eka mahadguna. Kirtanad eva Krishnasya mukta sangha parambrajet. That if you perform kirtan, that's already there in secret form in the second Nitya Siddha Shravanadi Sudachitte. But if you perform kirtan in Kali Yuga, Mukta Sangha Paramvrajet, you'll be liberated. So there's the 4 Mahavakyas. Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem, Krishnavana Tvisha Krishnam, Kirtanad Eva Krishnasya. Right? That's everything, isn't it? That's our whole philosophy. If you're giving a talk, you can use that as your framework in front of 1 million people. First you establish Krishna, then you establish your relationship with Krishna, Prem. Then you say, Lord Chaitanya is spreading this, it's Kali Yuga, and we are the Sankirtan movement. Come and join us and read the books, because Krishna's in the book. Right? This is what Prabhupada said. If you can't, you're not seeing Krishna. So also, Bhagavat Acharya, that's also in Chaitanya Bhagavat. There was a great devotee, I think it was in Kuliagram, and he was famous for beautifully reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam. And Lord Chaitanya named him Bhagavat Acharya. And he told him, you just complete the rest of your life, you just recite the Bhagavatam. And so, yes, okay. And he was called Bhagavat Acharya by Lord Chaitanya. So the books, right? And this is a special thing in Kali Yuga. Previous yugas, they could remember. They had good brain. But we have books now. And we are so fortunate. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he could hardly find a Chaitanya Charitamrita now. But on my hard drive and on my shelves at home, I've got enough books for 3 lifetimes. I'm confused. Which one shall I read now? Narada Pancharatrika. I'm reading now this very beautiful book, that Narada Pancharatrika, this very important book. There's a lovely section all about Radharani. So, yeah, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem. Yes, I think that's pretty good. Krishna Vana Tvisha Krishnam. Lord Chaitanya is there, and he is teaching Kirtan, Sango. Right, 3 times of, right, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu. This is very important. Shravanam, hearing. That means getting the knowledge, Siddhanta, from the books. Prabhupada has made it so wonderful. Do you see what he says here? It's wonderful. When one acts in Krishna consciousness, he does not act as the master of the world. So that is typical Prabhupada. He just says it so clearly, right? It's hard to look at the news nowadays. Everyone wants to control this bit of land, and they're killing and doing everything unnecessary. They all want to be the new Ravana. But they're going to find out what happened to Ravana, what happened to Duryodhana, what happened to Hiranyakashipu. It didn't go well for them. Ram will always be victorious over Ravana. Yudhishthira will always be victorious because the karma fell. But then Prabhupada said, okay, so we're talking about Bhagavad Acharya. That is correct, because there is book Bhagavat, the books. When we say book Bhagavat, we don't just mean the Bhagavad Gita or the Bhagavatam, but we mean all these wonderful literatures, Jaivadharma, Shikshamrita, Govinda Lilamrita, Krishna Bhavanamrita, all these incredible books that give us entrance to the spiritual world when we're reading them. So that is the books, but then we need the spiritual teacher to give us the correct or a helpful insight. Why? Because words are one thing, but realization is another. What do I mean? If I say blue sky, that's 2 words, then immediately blue sky. In the morning it wasn't blue. Or I say cloudy sky. You know what the words mean. You have realized what a blue sky is. But if I say to you, secret sky, what do you think? You think, what's he talking about? It's a secret. I don't understand his words. I saw the secret sky. What's he talking about? So, you understand? So, realization is different from just words. Huh? Now, if I say the secret sky is Vaikuntha, the transcendental world, then because you're learned devotees, you think, yes, that's correct. The secret sky. It's the transcendental world. Huh? So then you realize what I'm talking about. So when we read these books, they are about the secret sky. They're about the transcendental world, which, at least for myself, I have very little realization of it. So it is a bit of a secret. Huh? So I cannot just read the words and understand perfectly. Because I have less realization about the Shastra. I may read about the love between Radha and Krishna, but how much do I actually... Now, I have some idea, but how much do I actually understand? But by sadhu sangha, I can understand. Helpful. He will guide me. Like we've been discussing pure bhakti, right? What is pure bhakti? I have an apple. Oh, Krishna, please enjoy this apple for your pleasure. That's pure bhakti. Huh? I'm not just offering and then ringing a bell. I'm offering with a Torah devotion, a little loving affection. And then Krishna reciprocates. So this is important. We have the books, as Prabhupada says, and then we must have the spiritual teacher to clarify the correct understanding. Otherwise, sometimes you'll find devotees, they argue, Prabhupada says this here. No, but it doesn't mean that. Yes, it does. No, it doesn't. I think it means that. You think it means that? You're wrong. I'm right. Because they're looking at the words and they're interpreting in their own way. You understand? Now, that's not necessarily bad. At the beginning of Chaitanya Charitamrita, it says, Siddhanta Bulya Jeev Bhogavan Chakori. That you should listen, you should discuss Siddhanta, but you shouldn't make it a fight. You should do it in a civilized manner. So the sadhu, though, the uttamadhikari, the realized devotee, can give the right understanding. So that's what is here. Always under my protection. And my work under my protection. Do your duty, do your sadhana, do whatever your activities are, but under the protection means under the instruction, under the guidance of the spiritual master. And that's what Prabhupada ends the purport in saying, isn't it? If you remember, he says you must listen to the spiritual master and get guidance there. Yes, so Tvisha Krishnam, Lord Chaitanya, he's come to give the perfect process for Kali Yuga, you see. Kirtanad eva Krishnasya. That's the fourth Bhavakya. So this is very important purport, is it not? Prabhupada makes everything clear, because we don't see Krishna. You know, I mean, what I mean is Krishna's not sitting down next to us on the chariot telling us. So, in that way, become fully conscious of me. Now, this is very important. What is Krishna saying there? By this siddhanta that you will gain from the books and the spiritual teacher, by this correct understanding, what will be the result? You will see Krishna in your work. You won't be just offering arti mechanically. What's that mantra again? God, I'm hungry. I have to finish this arti or I'll pass out. No, no, I'm not. I'm just making a point. But you see my point. Be fully conscious of me. How? By bhakti. By getting bhakti reciprocation from Krishna. How to become conscious of Krishna? We've talked about this a lot the last few months. How? By seva bhav. This Shuddha Bhakta. Ahoitiki Bhakti. Save Pumsam Parodormo Yato Bhakti Radhoksita. Krishna is transcendental. But how we become conscious of him? We read the books and we take instruction from the spiritual teacher. How do we become conscious? We offer that study to Krishna. Like the sages at Naimisharanya. They said, we're gathered here to perform yajna. We've come to hear you, Sutta Goswami, talk about the conversation of Parikshit Maharaj and Sukadev Goswami. So this is our yajna. So that means that when we study, when we come to class, when we discuss Krishna, this is our yajna. Work, okay, work under my direction, very good. Arjuna is Kshatriya, but we should understand that, what does it Krishna say that later actually? Manmana bhava mad bhakto majaji. So everything is done as an offering to Krishna. Everything is Krishna's energy, everything. Just like the Ganga. Everything is Ganga Jal, but what do? We take a little Ganga Jal and we offer to Ganga Devi. It's her water, but we're offering. What is that? We're doing it with Bhakti Bhav. Torah effect. That is the essential practice of bhakti. To practice that devotional mood. That's how do you remember we talked about the 6 symptoms of pure bhakti? What was number 6? The only, there's an intelligent lady at the back. What was number 6? The only way to attract Krishna, right? This is the only way to attract Krishna. Now, when you attract Krishna, you become conscious of Krishna. Because you have bhakti bhav, so he is responding, yetam mam prapadyante. He's responding by revealing himself. You understand? It's the only way. If you're going to Krishna and think, oh, here's an apple, I want an orchard. That is not bhakti. That is not Shuddha Bhakti. Oh, here is an apple. Maybe you'll take it. I don't know. Who knows what's going on? I'm attracted to merging in the Supreme. No, you must have realization at the lotus feet of Sadhu. Sadhu Sangha, Sava Shastra Hoy, Sav Siddhi Hoy. So this is very important here, because we are not on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. That was, but we are. Krishna is available through the books, all the bhakti literature, and he's available through the spiritual master, or the spiritual teacher. Prabhupada on one tape, this is very important. Prabhupada said, what does spiritual master mean? It's a translation of guru. He says, the spiritual master is the master of spirit. Do you see the point? It doesn't mean he's the master and I'm the slave. Because, you understand? And then I follow brainlessly. No. What's in this verse? Buddhi yogam upashritya. Sadhana bhakti means buddhi yoga. That means you use your intelligence to understand the Shastra, to understand the words of the Uttamadikari. Buddhi yoga is, you find it in other, right? What is that earlier? Satatam Kirt, no. Those that worship me, Didami Buddhi Yogam Tam Yenamam Mupayantite. Buddhi, so the sadhana bhakti is Buddhi yoga. You use your intelligence. You understand? Don't think that spiritual master and I'm the zombie slave. No, yes, you work under direction as Prabhupada ends the purports, but you walk intelligently. You use your intelligence to realize, get beyond just the word, to get realization of the secret sky, Vaikuntha. And that's how it finishes, is it not? Let's see what Krishna said. Yes, in such devotional service, be fully conscious of me. That means by Buddhi Yoga, use your intelligence, but don't be a zombie. By using your intelligence, understanding the words of the Guru, understanding Sambandha Gyan, Abhideya, become conscious of me in my. And that is very important because we're performing with this external body, bhakti. We can do so many things, offer arti, chant, but we must do it with siddha. There's sevaka sadhaka rupena. You should perform bhakti with your sadhaka body, but you should also have siddha. You should, this awakening spirituality, realization of your own form, that is the center. That is what we're trying to achieve. We're trying to achieve like Lord Brahma. Chintamani prakarasatmasaka. We're trying to realize the spiritual world. We're not just trying to do a job. And then I'm exaggerating the point, but we should understand that we're doing bhakti sadhana, but the real thing is, I want to see Krishna in the heart. Remember last week we talked about the body is like a tree, and there's two birds in the tree, and one is Paramatma or Krishna, and the other is Jivatma. And Jivatma is trying to enjoy the tree. Oh, the nice fruit. And the other bird is saying, why don't you take my direction? I'm trying to help you. Suridam sarvabhutarnam. Right? Krishna is Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. He's in charge of everything. Every planet. The whole gigantic, unlimited creation. But is he detached? No. He's Suridam Sarva. He's your friend. He's your best friend. He's in your heart, waiting for you, for us. So, this is a very interesting point, isn't it? Krishna is so gigantic, unlimited devotees, but at the same time, he's the friend of every living entity. So he wants us to be conscious of him, and he wants to be conscious of us. What's that verse in the Bhagavatam? That I know the English, that in the heart of the devotees there is only me. And yes, what is that? I have to learn that sloka, I don't know it properly. In the heart of me, oh yes, the devotees are in my heart. They are my heart. And in my devotees, they only have me in their heart. I know no one but them, and they know no one but me. This is Krishna. This is a love verse, right? I only know them, and they only know me. So that's what I say. Never think, oh, I'm insignificant. No, Krishna doesn't think like every spirit soul So he wants to be conscious of me, Krishna consciousness. So we should be confident like that. And this is so important. Yes, I'll learn Siddhanta, I'll associate with devotees, and I'll realize Krishna, and I'll do everything with a little bhakti bhav, whatever I have in my heart. Even if it is just the idea, Krishna, you are the source. You have created me. Thank you. Huh? Here is some nice fruit, some nice offering. I'm offering in gratitude. Huh? Then that's Sudha Bhakti. That will attract Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, yeah, Chakradhar is very happy. So, any question? Sorry, Chakradhari. Usually I get carried away. But any question, Chakradhari will give us 5 minutes. Yes, Prabhu, thank you. You're listening very carefully. That's good. Go on.
If sadhana is
Huh?
if sadhana is enough for revelation.
Excuse me? If sadhana
Is enough for revelation, then why to read?
For initiation.
For revelation.
Oh, for revelation.
Then why to read books?
Because books are part of sadhana. Don't separate the two. Shravanadi Sudachitte, right? There's 9 processes. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam. So Shravanam means to read the books, to hear from the books, hear from the pure devotees. You understand? That and then Kirtanam, discussing, and actually kirta in Sanskrit, kirta means to describe. You know that? It's the Sanskrit definition, primary definition of kirta is to describe. When we chant, when we describe, we're describing Krishna. You understand? That is kirtan. Shravanam Kirtanam. So the books are part of Shravanam. Huh? That's what we were trying to explain. There is the book Bhagavat, and then there is the person Bhagavat. The two are Bhagavat. It is said that there's 4 things that are directly spiritual in the material world. You know, you're a learned devotee. Book Bhagavat, person Bhagavat, Tulsi, and Ganga Jal, Ganga Jamuna. These are directly spiritual. 4 things. So the books, you must keep contact with Siddhanta. As a general rule for the sadhaka, it's very important. That's why it's called Buddhi Yogam, because you're reading this. You know, just like Prabhupada's purports are so brilliant, right? They're so clear. That shows what a realization he has. You understand? Prabhupada used to say about his Bhagavatam purports, he said, Krishna's standing next to me, telling me, yeah. And that's not just a proud statement, that's the fact. When you read Prabhupada, I remember, if I may say, before I read Prabhupada's Gita, I used to read all sorts of books of all the sadhus and the rishis and Aurobindo and all this, and I studied Buddhism, and I studied that. I had one professor I studied, and then I got the professor told me read Bhagavad Gita, and he also told me read Kahil Gibran, you know, the Muslim poet. So I got Bhagavad Gita. I read 2 versions, one by Mascareno and one by Blavatsky. And then I read Prabhupada's Gita. And when I read Prabhupada's Gita, it was like I was amazed, because I could agree with it. You know, all the other ones, they were some I don't know about that point. But Prabhupada's Gita was like a flow of nectar. And I remember reading, I read in 3-4 days, and I was scared to turn the page because I thought I might find a fault in the next page, in the next purport. I will be able to find some, and then I'll have to be reserved. But I didn't. So Prabhupada's Gita, Prabhupada is the empowered Acharya to give the Gita, Bhagavatam, the Chaitanya Charita. So take advantage, you understand? Read every day. Just think, I'll read 1 hour a day. You find you will read more than one, but tell your mind as a trick, I'll just read 1 hour every day. Just like I say, you want to learn harmonium, you play every day, right? And then you'll find you play more than 1 hour because you get a taste. So read every day the Gita, Nectar of Devotion, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, then read Chaitanya Bhagavat, then read Narada Pancharatra, read Jaiva Dharma, read Chaitanya Shikshamrita. You read all these books. These are central books, right? Prabhu studied them all, right? You study these and you will know what the secret sky really means. Do you see my point? Okay? But combine it with Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. I think he's giving a sign, Barbara. So everyone is satisfied? Yes. So what a wonderful purport. Everything, right? So thank you all very much. Hope to see you next Friday. Chakradari K. Ja.